Genius. Today is one of those days where I can't sit. I haven't sat since I woke up, and one of those days where I'm just nerding out. And I was like, why don't I turn the camera on and nerd out? For those of you not residing in the West, nerding out. I'm just being a nerd today. That's what that means. I was thinking about how we're connected. What does it all mean? How did it all start? Implications of it all. Prayers, choices, decisions, realities, manifestations, intentions, energies, state of beings, blah, blah, blah. How is all of that just one thing? Us. So, I wonder if you guys are as strange as me when it comes to wondering how to explain, how to talk about, how to understand why and how everything in the universe is one thing, actually one consciousness, and everything is just a holographic projection of the one consciousness, and you are the door that appears to gives this illusion that you are different from the connective tissue of the entire universe. And you don't see that with your eyes. Essentially like a root system under the ground. Out there, all these trees and plants and the grass, they're all connected. They're all connected. But they're connected through the root system within the soil. And every plant out there is in some way not only getting affected by all the other plant systems, underground especially, but then the way they are, and then their extended manifestations of how they operate outside of the soil system affects not only the entire ecosystems of the plants, but then all other species combined, including us, recycling carbon dioxide and oxygen, however they do it. But then there's this connective tissue underneath it that is connecting it all. And collectively, they can change the pH of the soil underneath the ground. And by doing so, they can ensure, and they start to create this culture of how they want to live and what they want to experience. Not only subconsciously, which is underground into the root system. I'm weird, guys. I think about these things. This is what I do. So I would look at the underground root system and the soil and everything else as the subconscious mind. All of this is happening. And then there's the projection of it on the outside, above ground, of how it manifests itself. And how it manifests itself is just as beautiful on how it affects everything else. But at the same time, the underground system affects everything too, but we don't exactly know all the time how, right? I mean, if I were to start gardening in that ground, how these plants and everything else is affecting the ground system, including the pH and how they process and everything else, like the fungi that is part of the root system with the symbiosis of connecting itself to different roots, because fungi can grow a lot faster. So what fungi will do is it'll connect itself with the root systems so that the plants can have nutrients from much farther away spaces through the fungi. The fungi and the root systems can now be an extension of one another, and it benefits the fungi because of all the nutrients that are coming from the photosynthesis into the ground, feeding the fungi, and fungi can provide nutrients and minerals from the ground to the tree, and they're both helping each other in a way. And then, of course, the fungi and everything else affects all the underground creatures and the critters and the vegetables and everything we affect. And on the outside, it's just two different worlds, right? But these two different worlds are doing two different things, but it is all one thing. It's affecting itself. Conscious mind, subconscious mind, the empty space versus the hologram part of the world. I'm creating a picture here as we go along. I'm painting, okay? I'm just painting a picture here of how I'm unfolding my thoughts here. So that's one way to look at it here. But what is the quantum physics way of saying how we're connected? So if you remove all of the space, right, between all the atoms of every atom that exists in our universe, entire universe, what will that do? There is something in this space that is keeping everything separated, which is the energy, the frequency, full of data, full of information. Space is never empty space. Space is full of stuff. It's full of quantum energy, full of frequency, full of data, full of information. Because if you were to go to a truly empty room that has no quantum energy, that has no frequency, that has no data, that has nothing in it, truly nothing in it, you could turn on your flashlight and nothing would happen, because the light would not have a medium to travel through. Light photon cannot travel without a medium, which is the quantum energy, which is the frequency that is full from the empty space. So if you were truly in an empty space, you couldn't do anything. You couldn't talk. The voice would not travel. My voice could not travel to my phone without a medium that it would travel through. So now you take away all that space, okay? You take away the medium, which is the matrix, right? And then you collapse, it would essentially just collapse all the stuff, right? The 0.0001% of the material in the universe. It would fit into a little p. The whole universe can fit into a little p size, which is one of the many theories of the Big Bang, that everything was, the size of the p, the whole universe. So now the fact that every matter, you, me, all the cells we have, all the cells you have, everything in the universe was just one little tiny pea-sized rock. Everything was in there. Quantum physics also tells us that if anything was once together, it doesn't matter if it's no longer together, it is always going to be linked. This is what we mean by everything affects everything. Every piece of grass out there, in a small way, affects on the outside the world, and on the inside the soil, and the ecosystem of the soil and the ecosystem in a small way. And collectively, it creates an experience. But in a small way, it is creating its own little experience as well. So from one of the theories of how the universe came to be is because there couldn't have been a universe without an observer. Consciousness, this infinite love, somebody there, that we collectively are actually designing the future of the universe by not only observing it, but having these intentional energies, because thoughts are energies and frequencies and our state of being, and how we can not only bring in energy, but we can raise it and we can drop it and we can get it stuck in our energy. All of these things are affecting everything around us, and everything around us affects the country and the planet and the solar system and the galaxies. If you were to take one photon and split it apart, you would create twins. You could send one to the one side of the universe, one to the other side of the universe. And what you do to one particle will affect what happens to the other particle. That is how connected we are. Everything already exists within the matrix. That is why I focused on telling you guys to focus only on your state of being. Who are you pretending to be? Who are you pretending to be? Because who are you pretending to be affects your energy, your vibration, the way you think, the way you feel, the way you will make decisions. So when you make your decisions, focus on whether or not it aligns with the future energy of you. Don't just go and do synchronizing energy with your future self and then not pay attention to your daily choices that you make, the daily choices that affects your energy, your state of being that constantly affects your energy. When you react to things, how are you reacting? What makes you triggered? What triggers you? What makes you upset? How long do you react for it? Anyway, and I'm going back from nerding out to having a point, because I could do this all day. Yeah. I want to bring it back to something that I wanted to tell you guys, which is you guys are waking up to turn into become beacons that people will rely on when the mass awakenings happen. It's just a matter of time. Too many people are like, I need something else. They're looking for something. And what's going to happen to you as your enlightened being, you, my beautiful mystical being, you're going to be one of the pillars that people will be able to rely on and hold on to and get the help they need, get the understanding they need. You will help them with their think box, and then you will draw them to the play box. And with your beautiful energy, with your raised frequency, with your beautiful state of being, they will be able to rise up a lot faster. You're not just doing this for you. You're doing this for everybody. You're becoming a pure bliss, beautiful light, blessing being for the collective, for all species, for the entire consciousness, for everything, for existence. That is how important you are. That is how powerful you are. I love you.